Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our board meeting. Could we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Megan, will you call the roll?
Yes, Trustee Lautner?
Here.
Trustee Zora?
Here.
Trustee Seidel is absent. Trustee Council is absent. Trustee Sheehan?
Here.
Trustee Stewart?
Here.
President DeCipio?
Here.
A quorum is present, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Next on our agenda is recognition of fire personnel, so I will call Chief. Chief?
Thank you. You good if I go ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes.
There we go, I think. Okay. First of all, welcome. We're glad everybody could be here tonight. We have a number of items to go through on the fire department that are well-deserved and unfortunately due to COVID couldn't have been done earlier, most of them. I'm going to read what was in the village board memo, so everybody, I hate to read word for word, but I'll do it. In September of 2000, as part of our reorganization plan, 3 fire department lieutenants were promoted to captain, each very deserving of such. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, they were sworn in virtually and were not afforded the recognition of a traditional pinning ceremony. As such, we have now planned this for the village board meeting on November 23rd tonight, and please note the following. Captain John Seneca has been with our fire department since August of 1996. Among other duties, he supervises our fire department training program. He lives with his wife and child on Kemen and works full-time employment as a supervising diesel mechanic for a nationwide commercial truck rental company and will retire this month. Captain Jim Gruska has been with our department since August of 1990. Among other duties, he supervises Fire Station 2 and is heavily involved in fire prevention. He lives with his wife on Meadowcrest and is retired from full-time employment with Bosch and currently operates his own business. Captain Steve Tullis, who could not be here tonight, began employment with our department in July of 2002. Among other duties, he supervises Fire Station 1 and supervises the Emergency Medical Services Program. He lives with his wife and children on Sherwood and is employed full-time as a lieutenant with the Hinsdale Fire Department. In addition to the captain promotions, a firefighter was promoted to lieutenant last November. He also was sworn in virtually. As such, we would like to conduct the formal pinning ceremony at the village board meeting tonight. Lieutenant John Fagan ended up scoring at the top of the last lieutenant's promotional list. He began his employment at the Grange Park Fire Department in July of 2000. He currently resides on Oak Avenue with his wife and children and is employed full-time as a lieutenant with the Oakbrook Fire Department. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and bring everybody up. Those of you who have been promoted, we'd like to do the formal pinning. If you can come up here along with your family and or the person who is going to do the pinning, whatever you prefer, come on up. And John, if you want to go here, and then we'll go that way. Again, this is kind of long overdue. They were promoted last year. They were sworn in virtually. We've been talking about, hey, as soon as COVID's gone, we're going to have this big party. Unfortunately, it's still hanging on. Anyhow, so what we'd like to do is, John, if we could start with you. You want to introduce who is here with you tonight, up here, and in the...
Okay. Standing next to me is my daughter, Jillian, my wife, Debbie, and my mother, Jean, my nephew, sitting next to her, and his girlfriend, and my brother's here someplace.
He's hiding in the back.
There he is, way in the back.
Great.
That's everybody.
So, Jillian, if you want to go ahead and pin him, and then just stay up here, John. Thank you. Cindy, if you want to go ahead.
Great, thank you, John. I'd like to thank my lovely wife Susan for coming out to do the pinning ceremony and my very patient adolescent children. And Katie.
Great. Excellent. Once again, each of these, including Steve Tullis, very deserving of their promotions. Again, and I've said this many times, and I'll say it probably several times tonight, being a paid-on-call fire department takes a lot of dedication, takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort. There is a lot of work to do, no different than if this was their full-time job. So we appreciate what they're giving us, what they've given us, and what they have yet to give as in their new officer positions. And again, some of them have been a while, so we appreciate what they're doing. So congratulations to each of them. Good, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Also, what happens is when firefighters start on the fire department, they become what called candidates before they're fully trained. Once they get their fire training done, they become probationary firefighters where they still have a number of things to accomplish, and then they become firefighters. So 3 fire department firefighters completed their probationary requirements over the last year, who again, unfortunately, due to the pandemic, also were sworn in only virtually and not afforded the recognition of a traditional pinning ceremony. As such, we have now planned for this evening. Each of the following personnel were hired as candidates on July 9th in 2018. Firefighter Charlie Porter completed his probationary period of May 2020. He lives with his wife and children on Robin Hood Lane and is currently assigned to Fire Station Number 1. Firefighter Matt Carey completed his probationary period in February this year, lives with his wife and children on Homestead Road, and is currently assigned to Fire Station 2. Firefighter Chris Seneca also completed his probationary period in February of this year. He lives with his mother and siblings on Scottdale and is currently assigned Fire Station 1. Of note is both of his parents served at our department in the past. His father is a lieutenant and his mother is a firefighter. In addition, as you heard earlier, Uncle John serves as a captain now. So if all of you can come up, that'd be great. You could bring up your family member too, whoever's going to do the pinning. Sorry, I'm all confused. You can do that to her? Yeah, sorry. All right, we'll start with Charlie. If you just want to introduce her and your family.
My daughter Annabelle's over there, and my other daughter's Daphne.
Great. Go ahead. Thank you. Matt?
This is my wife, Charmaine. I have 3 of my 5 kids over there. I got Mia, Ava, Jackie, and my mother's sister.
You want to go ahead? Thank you. And Chris?
This is my father Chris. I have Mama John, my grandmother Jeannie, my Aunt Deb, and my girlfriend
Great. Again, we are glad to get to this point, at least to celebrate formally what they've accomplished to date. So we thank them and look forward to their service here. Again, it's very much appreciated. So congratulations. All right, for those of you who haven't seen these ceremonies before, it's never like this. We're kind of all over the place, but we're getting there. We're trying to keep it organized. So lastly, we're going to recognize paid-on-call firefighters who have not actually been sworn in. They've recently passed their probationary period, and they have not been formally sworn in, so this is the first time in public they're recognized. They did not attend any virtual board meetings because this took place over the last several months, most of them who have completed the requirements. So, the following paid-on-call firefighters have successfully completed their probationary period requirements and testing over the last several months and have not yet been sworn or pinned. Each has completed the Basic Operations Fire Academy, becoming state-certified firefighters, and also completing emergency medical services training and are licensed EMTBs. They have also been tested on general knowledge of policies, standard operating guidelines, apparatus, and equipment, and passed a practical driving and pumping test with our fire apparatus. All three of the following candidates were hired as candidates in July of 2020, and all are currently assigned to Fire Station 2. Firefighter Ken Marciniak has 2 daughters and lives on Cleveland Avenue. Firefighter Miko Ortega lives on Newberry with his family. And firefighter Stefan Weston lives on Raymond Avenue with his family. So if I can ask each of you to come up. That's great. All right. Ken, you just want to introduce your daughter?
Ariana.
Yeah, nice to meet
Her
you.
lovely mother is Jennifer. Taking pictures.
Great. Stefan, I don't think anyone could make it. Sorry, but we will pin you anyhow and make sure it counts. Miko, I'm sure will do it very well. And then Miko?
My mom, my dad, and my girlfriend, Sarah.
Excellent. So Ken, you want to go ahead? Miko? And then now you have to formally take the oath, so make it really official. So I'll ask our village clerk to come up here.
Okay, if you guys could just raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby do solemnly swear that I will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Illinois, and I will faithfully carry out all the duties imposed upon and entrusted in me as a firefighter of the Village of LaGrange Park, Cook County, Illinois. Congratulations.
Most of you know that have been here before, again, what we talked about, the training they've accomplished took a lot of time, and everyone here who has been sworn in before has done the same. But the last couple years, they would tell you how difficult, at least time-wise, and at some points, getting the things done that have to be accomplished done to get off probation. Calling several people, emailing, hey, can you take me out driving because there's a minimum number of hours we need to do. Other paid-on-call members have to jump in and come in after work or on their off time to take them out training. They had to go through the fire academy, just like everybody else, but 2 nights a week and a Saturday for nearly 4 to 5 months. EMT school, so there is a lot to get done. And again, they don't do this for a living, so we greatly appreciate the time and the dedication and them stepping up and serving the village. So again, congratulations and thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. So on behalf of the village board, village staff, and our residents, I want to thank each and every one of you for what you do for us and protecting us and keeping us safe while in the same, putting yourself at risk. We're fortunate that we're still able to have a fire department like we have a paid on call, and it's all because of people like you guys that are stepping up to the plate and making it work. So again, thank you for protecting us. Thank you for being there for our village and all that you do. And God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
I forgot to mention, we usually try and have some type of ceremony, and we haven't been able to in the last couple of years. So we didn't, because of how many people are here, we have cake. You are more than welcome to go get some after the meeting, but we're having it over at the fire station. So congratulations, and obviously everybody knows here, but you're welcome to take your family over there, take photos, get cake. So thanks again.
Thank you, Chief. Happy Thanksgiving, all of you.
Good night.
Beautiful ceremony, team.
Thanks. Honestly, I've been promised that we got to do something. We had to do it. Thank you for giving us the time.
Very welcome.
Okay, welcome. Okay, first up is public participation of agenda-related items only, if anyone would care to address the board. No? Okay, moving on to consent agenda. Megan?
Thank you, Mr. President. The items on this evening's consent agenda are as follows. A, approval of minutes. 1, village board meeting, October 26, 2021. 2, closed session meeting, October 26, 2021. 3, village board work session meeting, November 9th, 2021. And 4, closed session meeting, November 9th, 2021. B, action, Cook County Health Inspections. Motion to approve the resolution to allow the village president to execute a certain agreement with the Cook County Department of Public Health for health inspection services effective December 1st, 2021, and continuing through November 30th, 2022. C, action, renewal agreement with Municipal GIS Partners. Motion, 1, approve an agreement with Municipal GIS Partners Incorporated, and 2, authorize the village manager to execute the necessary documents. D, action, resolution for construction on state highways. Motion to approve a resolution for construction on state highways. E, action, 2021-2022 salt purchase contract, open purchase order. Motion to approve an open purchase order with Compass Materials America Incorporated, not to exceed a total amount of $75,000 for the purchase of road salt. F, action, 2021 police pension municipal compliance report. Motion to accept the 2021 police pension municipal compliance report. G, action, authorization to destroy executive session recordings. Motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the destruction of certain verbatim recordings of closed meetings. H, action, notice of annual schedule of regular meetings. Motion to approve a resolution approving the annual schedule of regular meeting dates for 2022. I, action, accounts payable and payroll summary. Motion, 1, to authorize the president and chairperson of the Finance Committee to sign the register for bills and authorize the treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in payment of operating bills and salaries as itemized in the check registers, and motion, 2, to authorize the village treasurer and village clerk to sign checks in the payment of payroll and other bills that become due between this date and the next village board meeting, with subsequent approval of the payroll register and voucher register by the Board of Trustees at its next meeting.
Thank you, Megan. I'll entertain a motion to approve consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Motion is second. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan. Moving on, our next is village manager's report. Julia?
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. I have 2 quick items to provide an update on this evening. The first is regarding an update for the stormwater management planning. Last week, village engineer Mark Volk and I represented our central area stormwater project to 2 representatives of the MWRD, Joe Kratzer and Holly Sauter. This was the fall presentation that they had requested in advance of our development of our application to the MWRD Stormwater Partnership Program. They asked many questions, which was great. They were very interested in what we had presented to them, and they provided us with a lot of suggestions on how to make our application really a standout, as we anticipate it will be very competitive. The MWRD stated that it looked like we had a promising project, which was good feedback to receive. The shared funding program will likely open in January, with applications due sometime in March. We affirmed to the MWRD that our application to the MWRD will be a shovel-ready project. The second update that I have is technology related, just 2 quick updates in the area of technology. The first is that All Information Services, or AIS, our technology consultant, completed the cutover to the new fiber Ethernet on Sunday. And the process lasted about 4 hours, and it was a success. Right? Thumbs up. The second update regarding technology is staff has scheduled the cutover to the new phone system for December 6th. Spectrum will be on site on the 6th and 7th to ensure that the project goes as smoothly as possible. And we are having a planning meeting with Spectrum in anticipation of the cutover to make sure that we have all of our questions answered. So wish us luck. And that completes my report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia. Okay, moving on to Administration Committee. Below Trustee Council, Trustee Zora, would you please give the report?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to report the administration report for November. The village's annual tree lighting ceremony will take place on this Friday, or next Friday, December 3rd at 6 p.m. at Memorial Park. The celebration, led by Village President DeCipio, will include performances, refreshments, and other festivities. Residents are invited to bring their whole family to this free event and enjoy hot chocolate, caroling, and lots of holiday cheer. The Village of the Grange Park's mobile food drive and Santa parade will take place on Saturday, December 18th at 4 p.m. This festive parade will travel throughout the village and collect donations for local food pantries along the way. Stay tuned for more information in the parade route. Reminder that village offices will be closed this Thursday, November 25th and Friday, November 26th in observance of Thanksgiving. Regular office hours will resume on Monday the 29th at 9 a.m. I have one item that's for an action item. At the November 9th, 2021 Village Board meeting, the Village Board discussed modifying Section 112.20A of the Municipal Code to provide for one additional Class B liquor license. The Municipal Code regulates the total number of permanent liquor licenses and states that the total number of Class A and Class B licenses issued shall not exceed 6. Happier Now Market and Cafe, a new business opening at 1016 East 31st Street, has submitted a letter to the Liquor Commissioner requesting a Class B liquor license. The village does not have any Class A or B liquor licenses currently available. Based on the Village Board's direction, staff has prepared the attached ordinance that's in our documents, amending the municipal code to increase the number of Class A and Class B liquor licenses from 6 to 7. If the ordinance is approved, the village president, as Liquor Control Commissioner, has a sole administrative authority to issue a new license under Section 112.16. If the applicant meets the criteria, the village board does not vote on whether to issue the license to any business. Staff recommends approval of the attached ordinance, which would allow Happier Now Market and Cafe to apply for a Class B liquor license. The motion is to approve an ordinance amending Chapter 112 of Title 11 of the LaGrange Park Municipal Code to increase the number of authorized Class A and Class B liquor licenses from 6 to 7.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, discussion. Trustee Zora?
Yes. I believe that any new businesses that comes before the board has to ask for a new license currently because we're out of licenses, just as the previous businesses have requested from us. So it isn't anything out of the ordinary. And my personal opinion is that if we don't allow this, we'd be doing a disservice to this business by not giving them a license. Part of our village goal is to help new businesses thrive and bring them into town. So I think that we should approve this.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Trustee Stewart?
Thank you, Mr. President. I second Trustee Zora's sentiments. I think we should be setting new businesses up for success, and this is a small ask. It's not costing us anything, and if it's something that will benefit their business, I think we should go forward with it. So I approve.
Thank you, Trustee Stewart. Trustee Laudner?
Thank you, Mr. President. As mentioned in the information that trustees are referenced, we did talk about this fairly extensively in the November 9th meeting, and some of the concerns I think it was trustee council brought up, I think that were certainly valid concerns about if we look closely at the parking area, impact on the area, and I think staff has, did a very helpful job, very good job in looking at that, making sure that we are looking at what are the provisions for the parking and how this applies to the current zoning code that is in place. And in considering all of that information, and certainly I support opportunity to continue the business growth and development in the area. So having all that addressed appropriately, I would certainly support this.
Thank you, Trustee Laudner. Trustee Sheehan?
Thank you, Mr. President. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Assistant Manager Jar for providing the requested information this afternoon. And going over the information, I agree with all my fellow colleagues on the board. LaGrange 31st Street is coming about. LaGrange Park is now open for business, and I fully support this at this time. Thanks.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Yes, I think this is great, Maggie. Megan, thank you. Maggie, thank you for all that you've done. And I want to thank the new owners for choosing LaGrange Park to make your business home, and we will do everything we can to make it a success and help you along the way. So thank you. Okay, Megan, call the roll.
Yes.
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 Thank you, Megan. Congratulations, you guys. Okay, next up we have Building and Zoning Committee. Trustee Zora?
Thank you, Mr. President. Now I'd like to report the building department activities for October of 2021. 93 building permits were issued in October compared to 130 last October. There have been 917 permits issued so far this year compared to 855 last year. Estimated construction costs were just over $1 million, approximately 26% less than last October. Permit fees collected for the month were just over $20,000, approximately down 35% compared to last October. 155 inspections were conducted in October compared to 158 last. 10 were not approved. 1,636 inspections have been conducted compared to 1,167 last year. There were 8 code enforcement property maintenance matters that were addressed in October. There are several new single-family home projects that are in for permit or have recently been issued for permit. During October, much work, many discussions, and a couple of court dates took place related to a court enforcement issue pertaining to the home at 600 block of North Ashland. The property ended up being sold in November. Additional inspections took place for Murphy's project. Unfortunately, they are experiencing delays due to supply chain issues. Level Up Cafe received their final permit, and they had a soft opening in October. The monument sign at Plaza 31 was installed during the month, and it turned out nicely. Inspections began at 1201 Barnesdale for Dubac Electric, and the project is moving quickly. Exterior masonry and roof work and interior structure changes were done in October. And that is all I have to report. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Zora. Moving on, engineering capital projects, Trustee Stewart.
I have 4 items to update everyone on. Work is nearing completion on the Grange Road water main replacement project, phase 2. The sidewalk, driveways, and landscaping has been installed in front of the private residences along with Grange Road north of Garfield. The restoration was also completed along Meadowcrest Road south of 31st Street and along the side of the private house within the easement. The concrete alley was poured and edge patched. The balance of the restoration work will be completed this construction season. Second item, on the CDBG grant paving program, all of curb, sidewalks, and driveways designated for replacement on Meadowcrest and Woodside have been poured. Landscape sodding of the parkways have also been completed. The contractor, Lindahl Brothers, Inc., then will grind and patch the street pavement before resurfacing. Construction on the project will be completed this fall. On October 7th, the village publicly sealed bids for the Green Initiative Permeable Pavement Intersection Project. 6 firms submitted bids for the project. The lower bid was Copenhaver Construction, Inc. They are an IDOT qualified contractor who has met the bidding requirements and performed satisfactorily on projects throughout the area. A pre-construction meeting will be held in November to determine the project schedule. The project involves creating a permeable pavement at the intersections of Monroe Avenue and Community Drive, Robin Hood Lane, and Sherwood Road. Final item, on October 7th, the village publicly opened sealed bids for the MFT patching project. 5 firms submitted bids for the project. The lower bid was Chicagoland Paving Contractors, Inc. They are also an IDOT qualified contractor who has met the bidding requirements and performed satisfactorily on last year's patching project. The project involves installing pavement patches throughout the village. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Stewart. Okay, public safety and Trustee Seidel. Trustee Sheehan, would you do the report?
Thank you, Mr. President. In addition to the attached statistical summaries, the following items are being reported to apprise the village president, board of trustees, and current police department operations through the month of October. The total number of crimes this year are 4% lower than last year, with 364 reported this year compared to 379 last year. Of the 364 reported, 158 are identity theft reports associated with the Illinois Department of Employment Security claim scams due to the pandemic. Traffic enforcement is at 2,791 total tickets issued through October. Overall police activity is 11.8% higher to last year, with 7,144 total incidents reported through October of 2021, compared to 6,347 total incidents through October of 2020. 150 self-initiated building and park checks were completed throughout the month. along with 73 traffic stop and 67 assists to the fire department. Department members attended 68 hours of training, along with the completion of required monthly online training and Lexapol daily training bulletins. The police department staff assisted with several Friday night football games over at Nazareth. PD staff, in conjunction with the DEA, participated in the annual Drug Take-Back Day on October 23rd. We collected over 75 pounds of expired or unused pharmaceutical drugs. Thanks to everyone who dropped off items for proper disposal. As a reminder, the police department has a drop-off box in the lobby available for residents during normal business hours. Police department staff participated in the first ever Burger Bash in conjunction with Post 031 and the Grange Park Ace Hardware. Over $4,500 was raised for Illinois Special Olympics Torch Run, which helped the police departments surpass their $15,000 yearly goal for that great organization. PD staff also took part in several trunk or treat events throughout the town. A friendly reminder about securing one's personal property at all times. Please lock your vehicles and residences, especially during overnight hours. If you are going on vacation, please utilize the new online vacation watch portal, frontlinepss.com/LaGrange Park, or log into the village website and access the portal under the police department page. If you do not have internet access, feel free to fill out a vacation watch card at the police department here at Village Hall between the hours of 9 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Next is the fire department activities. EMS incidents this month were 143, and there have been 1,432 year-to-date compared to 1,280 year-to-date in 2020. Fire rescue incidents this month, 45. There have been 434 year-to-date compared to 428 year-to-date last year. Firefighters participated in various training events this month. This included using houses in the village scheduled for demolition to practice using various tools and tactics. Personnel also attended live fire training at Darien Woodridge Fire District Burn Tower and participated in a hazardous materials incident drill in Westmont. In addition, the fire chief attended the Illinois Fire Chiefs Association conference in Peoria. The fire chief also presented a section of annual incident management assistance team training to other fire officers in the MABUS Division 10. Unfortunately, we again canceled our open house this year due to COVID. We did, though, post various fire safety messages to our Facebook page daily during Fire Prevention Week. In addition, personnel went to businesses and delivered fire safety materials, including pamphlets on fire safety in the workplace and fire extinguishers in the workplace. We also have been delivering fire safety materials to each of our schools. Personnel participated in the Lyons Township High School Homecoming Parade and the Firefighter Memorial Silent Parade. They also participated in the library and St. Michael's Trunk or Treat events. In addition, they assisted with fire drills at Brook Park School and Nazareth Academy. During the month, a couple of our firefighters painted all the doors at Fire Station number 2, and a masonry contractor repaired and rehabbed Fire Station 1 monument sign. All the work looks great. And that concludes public safety, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Okay, moving on, Public Works Committee, Trustee Sheehan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public Works replaced 2 leaking lead services with 1-inch copper pipe. Staff also completely excavated and replaced 3 fire hydrants which were unrepairable. The Village Brush Program continued the first full week in October, making the final scheduled pickup until next spring. The Village Leaf Program began this month and will continue to each section of town each week. We'll continue in a new section of town each week into December as weather permits. The Fall Tree Planting Program is now completed with 49 trees planted, including the annual Arbor Day tree. This year, Donna Twickler was nominated and selected a swamp white oak, which was planted on the 1000 block of Edgewood Lane. Sidewalk replacements and concrete work were completed, with nearly 220 sidewalk squares being replaced. The resident participation program was a huge success and showed large popularity with residents. The street patching program is ready to begin. It should start next week with Chicagoland Paving being the selected low bid contractor. GIS work has continued collecting data on village-owned assets along with continued training throughout the village. Water meters were read in section 1 and 15 monthly bacterial samples were taken along with stage 2 samples. Various water and sewer work orders were completed along with resident tree concerns and general construction inquiries. Routine maintenance to the department fleet and equipment was performed as well as on police and fire vehicles. And Mr. President, before I end, I'd like to wish Director Ratty a speedy recovery. We miss him and I hope he gets better real quick. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Welcome, JJ. Okay, moving on to Finance, Trustee Lautner.
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening, in addition to the report, I have action items for the 2021 tax levy. First of all, the financial report. For fiscal year to date, general fund revenue is at 57.2% of the annual budget and about $474,000 or 10% higher than the prior year. Property tax receipts are up about $140,500 or 8.4% compared to the prior year. A portion of these receipts would normally have been received in the prior fiscal year. However, the first installment bills were postponed this year by the county. Other local taxes are down by about $49,000 or 7.5% due primarily to a timing variance with cable franchise fee receipts. Intergovernmental receipts are higher by about $327,400 or 22.7% compared to last year. Income tax is at 26.9% higher than last year, while sales tax is up by 32.7% and use tax is 12% lower. The Leveling the Playing Field for Illinois Retail Act required out-of-state retailers and marketplace facilitators to collect and remit state and locally imposed sales taxes for the location where the product is delivered starting January 2021. Initial data indicates that the decline in use tax for the village is more than offset by the gain in sales tax. Combined sales and use tax is up by 12.5% compared to last fiscal year. License revenue is lower by about $47,300 or 18.3%. Vehicle license revenue is down compared to last year, and there is also a timing variance due to business license invoices sent out in late October last year versus November this year. Permit receipts are up 31.5% or about $54,400 compared to the prior year. Charges for services are higher by about $52,100 or 11.9%, mainly due to increased ambulance fee receipts. And total general fund expenditures, excluding the transfer to the capital projects fund, are at 48.1% of the annual budget and about $247,200 or 6% higher than last year. The increase is primarily due to personnel expenditures in the police department as vacancies in the prior year were filled. All departments are within budget expectations. And for the 2021 property tax levy. Background on this is the village's annual property tax levy is restricted by the Illinois Property Tax Extension Limitation Law, known as PTEL. The PTEL limits the amount the village may increase the aggregate levy each year to the lesser of 5% or the change in the consumer price index. The term aggregate levy is specifically defined by the Truth in Taxation Law to include the corporate and special purpose levies and excludes levies for debt service. For the 2021 levy, the PTEL CPI change is 1.4% and is therefore the limiting factor. The PTEL authorizes the village to collect additional taxes on new property value. We will not know the actual amount of new value until well after the village's tax levy ordinance is due to the county. As such, an estimated increase of 2% of the equalized assessed value has been incorporated into the levy estimate calculation to ensure all potential new value is included. The county will reduce the village's actual extension to the amount allowed under the PTEL. The village board approved an estimated aggregate levy for 2021 at the October board meeting in the amount of $3,963,722, which is 3.4% above the 2020 extension of 3.8 million basically. The estimated aggregate levy is less than a 5% increase. Therefore, a public hearing is not required by the Truth in Taxation Law. The 3.4% total increase includes the 2% new value estimate. It is important to note that for most residents, the actual increase in the village's aggregate property tax levy should be approximately the CPI amount of 1.4%. Unless directed otherwise, the county clerk will add 3% to the village's aggregate levy to offset uncollectible taxes. As has been done in the past, the 2021 levy ordinance directs the county to reduce the loss factor to 2% based on the village's collection history, except for debt service. This additional amount does not increase the total levy allowed under the PTEL. 4 proposed evidence are attached to this memo and to our board packet that was distributed to all of us. The first ordinance authorizes the county clerk to extend the village's proposed 2021 property tax levy. The second ordinance provides the county clerk direction on how to reduce the village's 2021 property tax levy in the likely event that the aggregate levy exceeds the PTEL allowed amount. As in the past, the village is directing the county clerk to apply any reduction due to PTEL to the corporate general levy. This ensures the special purpose amount, such as for the police pension, will be fully levied. The third ordinance is to abate the property tax levy for the 2014 sewer refunding bonds. The original bonds were issued in 2006 for sewer infrastructure projects. While the village pays for the bonds with sewer fee revenue, the bonds are backed by an annual property tax levy included in the bond ordinance. The village must direct the county clerk to abate this property tax each year or the bond levy will be extended. The village's 2021 property tax levy will also include a debt service amount for the 2016 road and fire bonds approved by referendum. The debt service annual levy amounts were included in the bond ordinance previously filed with the county. For the 2021, the debt service levy is $1,244,750. The actual bond levy extension will include a 5% loss factor to ensure adequate funds are available to pay the debt service. The fourth proposed ordinance abates a portion of the 2016 bond levy. Due to the 5% loss factor and interest income, the village currently has a projected fund balance in the debt service fund that is approximately $45,000 above the amount needed for paying principal and interest. As a result, the board may abate a portion of the 2016 bond levy. Staff is recommending an abatement amount of $35,000, which along with the 2021 loss factor will maintain a sufficient fund balance for potential property tax refund. We have talked about this a few times and we've gone through this verbiage, I won't say ad nauseum, but I will say several times, and it's actually starting to make a lot of sense. So staff certainly recommends that we proceed this. This is an annual process that we do go through. And so as such, I would like to submit 4 different motions that I will do one at a time, and I'm sure we'll call for a vote after each one of those. But my first motion, as described, is submit a motion to approve an ordinance providing for the annual tax levy for the village of LaGrange Park, Cook County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning May 1, 2021, and ending April 30, 2022.
A motion and a second. Discussion. Trustee Lautner?
And as referenced, it's an annual process that we go through. The description that we've talked about here, this may be the 3rd public representation of this, and certainly I think supports this to help keep the village running.
Thank you. Any comments from any trustees? Megan, call the roll.
Yes.
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 Okay, the second motion that I described is I submit a motion to approve an ordinance providing for specific reductions of the 2021 property tax levy pursuant to the property tax extension limitation law.
Motion is second. Discussion. Trustee Lautner?
No additional discussion, Mr. President. Annual process that we go through as recommended.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
Okay, and third motion, as described above, was I submit a motion to approve an ordinance abating the tax hereto levied for the year 2021 to pay the principal of and interest on $3,495,000 general obligation refunding bonds, which are known as Alternative Revenue Source, Series 2014 of the Village of LaGrange Park, Cook County, Illinois.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. Trustee Lautner?
No additional comments, support.
Thank you. Any other comments from the boards? Seeing none, Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
And the fourth and final motion, as described earlier, is I submitted a motion to approve an ordinance abating a portion of the taxes heretofore levied for the year 2021 to pay debt service on general obligation corporate purpose bonds, Series 2016 of the Village of LaGrange Park, Cook County, Illinois.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. Trustee Lautner?
And no additional clarification or comments, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any comments from the board? Yes, Trustee Sheehan.
I just want to add that I really appreciate, and the residents appreciate, the representative from the Doings, Mr. Beckman, for what you put out there and making it available, and staff for having it online. So that's important, and that's what the residents look for. So thanks to everybody.
Thank you, Trustee Sheehan. Megan, call the roll.
Trustee Lautner?
Yes.
Trustee Zora?
Yes.
Trustee Sheehan?
Yes.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
The motion passes unanimously, Mr. President.
Thank you, Megan.
And that concludes the reports and the motion from the finance area this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Lautner. Okay, other reports. Our village clerk,
I have no report, Mr. President.
our village treasurer, our village engineer, our village attorney,
No report, Mr. President.
and our commercial revitalization committee, Trustee Stewart.
Thank you, Mr. President. Commercial revitalization report. Plaza 31 grand opening event, 704 to 722 East 31st Street. The village celebrated the grand opening of Plaza 31 Shopping Center on Friday, November 12th. Plaza 31 recently completed an 18-month renovation project, which included modernizing all building components, installing a new fire alarm and sprinkler system, upgrading all exterior elements, new signage, and landscaping. Information on tenants and special events is now available at shopplaza31.com. Level Up, 716 East 31st Street. Level Up Cafe and Recovery opened at Plaza 31 earlier this month and will host a ribbon cutting ceremony on Wednesday, December 1st at 10 a.m. Level Up will be offering samples of their most popular smoothies and coffee, as well as complimentary 10-minute recovery sessions. Stop by to see how the owners of Strive for Fitness are taking wellness to new heights with their new venture. Streetscape Improvement Plan. The village recently issued a request for proposals for assistance in developing a streetscape improvement plan for the village market area. Staff conducted a pre-proposal meeting on November 17th at Village Hall, which was attended by representatives of 10 planning and engineering firms. Consultants must submit their proposals by December 3rd. For more information about the project, please visit the village's website. Commercial Revitalization Committee. Our next meeting will take place on Tuesday, December 14th at 6 p.m. at Village Hall. Businesses and members of the public are invited to attend and provide input on how the village can support new and existing business and enhance the commercial areas of LaGrange Park. And that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Trustee Stewart. Always amazed at what that committee can accomplish and how far we've come from where we were, so thank you, and I know staff has a lot to do with that too, Maggie and Julia. Okay, motion to approve committee and collectors reports as presented.
So.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I have a couple of items. First, the state of the village address is, the state of the village address is here in the boardroom on Wednesday, December 8th at 6 p.m. It's also available to watch on Channel 6 or Channel 99 or on YouTube. So it's a little bit changed for us because it's on a Wednesday and it's a little bit later than we usually do, but it's going to be a great presentation. So thank the staff for all the work you guys are putting in and going to put in before we get there. I had a dinner meeting with President Gallagher from Western Springs, President Kukler from Grange, and Mayor Sean McDermott from Countryside. We've decided we're going to get together quarterly to just banter about how we can be helpful to each other. We're organizing a meeting to include our village managers, so I think there's some cooperation and collaboration going on, which is great. It's awful good to see. JJ, welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you.
So, you know, we've all been through a lot the last couple of years with the pandemic, and some of us have lost loved ones along the way. So I just want to say I'm thankful on the eve of Thanksgiving. I just want to tell you I'm thankful for being up here. I'm thankful for the board that I have to work with, the staff that we have that is so generous and so hardworking. And to our residents, I want to thank you and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. So thank you. Okay, moving on, public participation. There's no public here, so any new business? Oh, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.